Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. The Golden Globes are on CBS tonight. Joe Coy is your host. Talk about Joe in a second. The nominees for Best Performance in Stand-Up Comedy on Television are Amy Schumer for Emergency Contact, Chris Rock for Selective Outrage, Ricky Gervais, Armageddon, Sarah Silverman, Someone You Love, Trevor Noah's Where Was I, Wanda Sykes, I'm an Entertainer. I have no idea who they'll pick. Out of that, I think I'd pick Trevor, but I don't know. They're all fine. Well, Amy's special's not good. From The Hollywood Reporter, Jimmy Kimmel has 5 months to prepare for the Oscars. When it came to the Golden Globes this year, Joe Coy had less than 2 weeks. He said, I haven't slept, and I've never watched this many movies and TV shows in my life. Over the holidays, he was busy binging everything from Oppenheimer to Maestro. Interesting frustration came out here. They write Joe Coy has been selling out arenas with a stand-up comedy, but ahead of his 2022 Netflix special, he told The Hollywood Reporter that the industry had been slow to recognize his success. Quoting him from 2022, what is it that you're not seeing? These numbers are as clear as day. I'm on a list that a lot of people aren't comics who are selling out arenas. It's like Elton John, Billy Joel, Joe Coy, and Coldplay. Like, what aren't you guys seeing? And it hurt a lot. And yeah, it was offensive that I still had to convince a lot of people that what I'm saying is relevant and funny. So Coy said he had less than 2.5 weeks to prepare because it took a day for the contract to go through. And then the writers, those had to come through. So we're looking at like 9 days. This has definitely been a crash course on how to MC a major event. He's super excited. I've been smiling ear to ear since the day I found out that I got it. It's surreal, and I'm enjoying every single moment. It just means so much, and not only to me, I've got a lot of weight on my shoulders that I've got to carry. I got my family, I got my culture, I got the Asian community, I got the halfers out there, the half white, half Asian, half black, half Asian, half Latino, half Asian. There's a lot of halfers out there that need some representation, and I fill that void. And I know that because when I was a kid, all I did was watch award shows and watch TV, and the one thing you always sought out was to be inspired by somebody who looked like you or somebody who said something that kind of sounded like you. And I know that's what this moment is for me. I know that there's going to be a kid going, okay, it's possible. Cool, he did that, so all right, I can do it too. And to me, that's everything. That's all I want. How will he differentiate this award show from, other award shows? Joe Coy said, this is the fun one. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of every single award show. It's just in our blood as far as Filipinos are concerned. We're addicted to award shows. We're addicted to talent shows. Growing up as a kid, would watch award shows as a family. Would bet on who's going to win what category. And out of all the award shows, this is the one that everybody enjoys watching. By the way, I'm a fan of everyone who's hosted this show. I'd be lying if I said differently, and in no way am I replacing anybody. Some of the recent hosts you may recall, last year, Gerard Carmichael. I don't know. I don't know how good that was. Ricky Gervais, who was awesome. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, they're always solid. Joe says the bosses said, be you. We like what you do. And on stage, so let's try and bring that to the Globes. Will there be any roasting? Oh, I'm still going to do what I do. I want to do it in a celebratory way, and I want to have a good time, but I'm still going to make fun of a lot of people. Joe also got advice from Chris Rock. Did Chris give him any advice? Say somebody were to come out of the audience and try and slap him? Joe said no. But out of everything he said to me, this one stuck out the most. He goes, screw the wardrobe, screw the costume change, watch the show, watch the entire show. You don't know what's going to happen. That way you're ready. If someone says something wrong, you're not going to walk out on stage and act like you saw it. You saw it. You can react to it. Be prepared. The Interrobang is a comedy website. They kind of lean into the New York City cigarette smoking, scorched earth kind of comedy, and they did some end of the year comedy listener polls. It's been a pretty slow news week, as you could tell. I just did 5 minutes on Joe Coy. Other than Cat Williams. Cat, can you scorch some more earth? That would be awesome. That would really help me out. So let's take a look at what the Interrobang had. Their album of the year, best comedy album, Bob the Drag Queen's Woke Man in a Dress. Interesting pick by the listeners there if you want a sense of their taste. The previous winners from 2022 and back to 2014, Jen Kirkman, James Matterns, The Check Spot. We don't talk about James much around here. Bonnie McFarlane, Rich Voss, Adam Ferrara, Joe DeRosa, Rich Voss again, Jay Moore, and Big J Okerson. So that'll give you a sense of that website's readers' sensibilities. Their best comedy special of the year. Now, despite everything I just said, this makes no sense to me because this one I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with anything. You know what? I'm going to wait a second and tell you who they named a best comedy special because it makes no sense based upon everything else we're profiling here, okay? Starting in 2014, Jim Jeffries, then Jim Norton, then Barry Crimmins' Whatever Frightens You, Judah Friedlander, Gad Elmela's American Dream in 2018, weird one. Then, follow the pattern here, Mark Normand, Shane Gillis, Chris DiStefano. So you get kind of the vibe, right? Well, what's the best comedy special of the year according to their readers this year? Kathleen Madigan's Hunting Bigfoot. What? Must have been a writing campaign. On their stand-up comedian of the year, this year went to Bert Kreischer. Previous winners, Chris DiStefano, Nate Bargatze, Colin Quinn, Shane Gillis, Bert Kreischer, Judah Friedlander, Jim Jeffries, Nate Bargatze, and Bill Burr. John Doerr did an interview with The Guardian. And dude, when somebody's trying to give you press, just be gracious about it. I'm going to read this entire transcript here. And John, you just sound like a jerky face. The Toronto Guardian asks, how would you describe your comedy style? I would use words. Who are some of your influences? Buffy St. Marie from Mighty, Massachusetts. Who was your favorite comedian growing up? David Letterman. You know, you can elaborate, dude. You could say something about these people. Who's your favorite comedian right now? Matt Rife. You could say something about it. What's your pre-show ritual? 3 cans of Miller Lite and try to arrive on time. Thanks, John. Speaking of Matt Rife, Vogue recently profiled him. They were curious how he's handling internet trolls. Rife said, something I need to work on. I'm so immature. I have such a hard time not replying back. We live in a world where everyone has such a false sense of security and confidence hiding behind a computer screen. I have a huge problem with people not having to pay some kind of physical consequence. And obviously, because you're on a computer screen, I can't slap the crap out of you, but I can at least check you sometimes. I can roast you right back. Can't let them get away with it. It drives me absolutely insane. They were curious if people in his life are worried about ending up in his act now. Matt Rife said, I don't talk too much about stuff close to home. I've always been that way. Like sometimes I'm so close to things I don't find them funny at all. Like when I talk about my upbringing, where I'm from, all that kind of stuff. People are so fascinated and it's not funny to me at all. They asked him about his biggest fear. He said, the joke answer is spiders. I hate spiders. Spiders and heights. I'm not good with either one of them. Deep answer, job security. That probably gives me the most anxiety about what's happening right now. It's like, yeah, obviously this is incredible. I'm trying to soak it all in and enjoy it. But this is a fickle business. Yes, Matt, I think you have learned that. Fun tidbit from the recent Cliff Nesteroff book, Outrageous, A History of Showbiz and the Culture Wars. Contestants on Family Feud during Richard Dawson's tenure had to undergo herpes tests on set. Apparently, back in the day, the game show implemented a policy stating that both male and female contestants had to undergo a mouth test with a magnifying glass from the medical staff. During one contestant's experience, a production assistant announced, okay, everybody line up for your herpes tests. And that is your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it. They might like it too. You can support the show at buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews or go to the Fountain app. Throw some sats my way. See you tomorrow.